Good afternoon, Neeraj here to discuss in research methodology a very important topic, that is research design. In last class we discussed research process, and when we were discussing research process we got one important stage or a step in that process was that of research design. Now we will discuss research design in length. The question arises, what is research design? And if we talk about research design, what does it exactly mean? What are its various components? And how can we know about each component in comprehensive length? And what does each component mean for a researcher? That is, how a researcher can utilize each component of research design in executing his or her research project. These all questions will be answered by discussing this important topic. So first we discuss about what is research design, then we discuss about components of research design, and afterward we will classify research design, and then we understand all the important groups under classification of research design in understandable manner. Now, what is research design? How can we define it? How can we understand it? Research design, as this design part, we have to take consideration of this design part. Research design is a framework. It is a blueprint of research activities which has to be taken by the researcher in order to execute, in order to implement his research project and to get desired information related with the topic of the research project undertaken by the researcher, or to solve the problem by valid solution. So we can say research design is the foundation upon which forthcoming research activities have to be built up. It narrows researcher discretion to move here and there during conducting of his research project. It narrows down. What does it mean? It focuses, it delimits the scope of research project. It concentrates all the researcher attention on the research project only. It distinguishes valid or relevant information from invalid or irrelevant information. We all know how much this one is important, to get only relevant information, because we always have problem of time, money, effort. So for saving our resources and utilizing it optimally, we have to be concentrated, we have to be very focused on our research project, and for the purpose we have to plan before doing anything. And this plan of action is nothing but we can term it as research design. This is why I told at the very outset, this is a blueprint, this is a roadmap of forthcoming research activities in order to conduct the research project. Now, a question arises, what are its various components? Definitely, if we understand the components of research design, it would be comparatively easy to understand the meaning of research design as a whole. So let's discuss about components. When we talk about components, then definitely certain parts comes in our mind which are combined together. These parts are combined together to form the research design as a whole. When we talk about these parts, then a starting research design, a starting part is concerned with various types of research design. That we talk about the classification of the research design. And when we talk about classification or the various types of research design, then objective or purpose of particular research project is important to consider upon. On the basis of objective or purpose, three important types of the research project can be undertaken. First one is exploratory, second one is descriptive, and third one is causal. We will talk these different type of research design in length under head of classification of research design. Here it would be enough to know that we have to be very clear that our undertaken research project is of what nature, is of what type, exploratory, descriptive or causal, because different type of research design gives different type of strategy and tactics to achieve the research objective. So it is important to consider upon. Now, one thing I would like to mention over here that is important, that it is not necessary that a particular research project might be exclusive, exploratory or descriptive or causal. It is not necessary. It may be or may not be. One research project might be having all these three phases: exploratory, descriptive and causal. So one research project, a typical research project, might be consisting all these three type of research designs. It's quite interesting. Now, so let me write down over here: exploratory, descriptive and causal type of research design. First. Second, then we talk about data which we need for our research project. What kind of data? We have to define the information needed, data needed. So at this stage, at this step, we have to define the information needed. So we talk about type of information and sources of information. So let me write down over here data sources. Third important component, we talk about research approach. When we talk about research approach, it means the undertaken research is of what nature? On the basis of collecting data. As research might be categorized into quantitative research and qualitative research. Quantitative research, we have to think over that, whether our research approach should be quantitative or qualitative, because this decides the whole strategy and data analysis approach So we have to be very keen about deciding about quantitative versus qualitative type of research approach. Quantitative, here we deal with variables, those can be quantified and these can be measured by well-defined instruments. For example, height, weight, length, income, these all are well quantifiable. When we talk about quantified research approach, then three types of quantified research approach may be there. The first one is inferential, second one is experimental, and third one is simulation. Now inferential, just I give a little glimpse. Inferential, here we collect data and then we draw inferences or some conclusion on the basis of data interpretation, and we draw inferences from the sample, what we have drawn from the given population, and on the basis of those inferences, which might be particular character of the sample units, we generalize it to the population as a whole. For example, mean value of the sample is suppose X. We got it, we calculated it. Then we have to draw the inference that if sample mean value is X, then it might be also population mean value. So such type of conclusions normally we draw from sample survey. Now the next one is experimental. Here we conduct experiments. This is most scientifically valid research type. Here we conduct experiment, we manipulate independent variable, and after manipulation, every time we measure its respective effect on dependent variable, and thus we arrive at certain conclusion. This is experimental type. And third one is simulation. Here we create an artificial environment and to receive desired information by conducting certain type of by applying certain type of models and by applying the values in the models. So this is important to consider. In simulation method, we have to create an artificial environment. We have to control the variables, and then we draw some mathematical model, might be in the equation form, and then we put the value of every part of the equation and to get at the conclusion that what is the likely behavior of the situation in which we are interested, or we can also draw conclusion that what may be likely environment in the future in which we might be interested to know. And when we talk about qualitative, then it means we are interested to get such type of information which cannot be measured precisely in quantitative form. Here we cannot apply mathematical measurement, mathematical operation rigorously. Mind it, in quantitative data we can apply all the mathematical operation rigorously, but that is not possible in qualitative data. For example, if we are interested to measure, say, behavior or attitude or opinion of the respondents, then we have to construct certain type of instruments. Those might be termed as measuring instruments. This depend on subjective assessment of the researcher, that what his ideology is or what kind of instrument he or she devises to measure the particular character. This is important to know about qualitative. Various type of qualitative methodology are in vogue, which we can use, like projective technique, like focus group interview, or like in-depth interview. So these all are viable techniques. We can adopt any technique as per the requirement. So after deciding research approach, next we have to decide research instrument. As in data source, we have already discussed about primary data and secondary data. Primary data, original data collected by researcher, and secondary data, researcher consulted with the data, those are available or collected by other researchers. Now in research instruments, we have to devise various type of instruments, like questionnaire, like schedule, or like interview, or like telephonic interview, or like computer aided interview, or personal interview, or interceptive interview. What type of, say, instruments as the researcher we devise naturally depends upon nature of the research and kind of information in which we might be interested upon. So in research instruments, we have to devise various instruments to collect primary data. After deciding about research instruments, then we move to another important part, another important component of research design, that is sampling. When we talk about sampling, three important decisions as the researcher we have to decide over here, depending upon the particular nature of the research project or type of information or even capability of the researcher. Three important decisions. First one is sample unit, second one is sample size, and third one is sampling procedure. When we talk about the sample unit, it means we want to know who is our respondent, to whom we have to approach, we have to survey, ask question for the required information. When we talk about sample size, it means here we have to decide how many units from the given population we have to draw to include in our sample. That is important, as sample must be representative of the given population. So to decide upon sample size definitely is going to affect our research in very comprehensive manner. And third, research procedure. When we talk about the research procedure, then it means here we have to decide that what should be method of drawing population units into sample units. How we will create the sample from the population, what exact method. As we all know, there is n number of different technique or method through which we can create sample or draw units from the population. When we are with this one, then next one is techniques of analysis. Here we have to decide that what should be the viable techniques which we have to apply as the researcher to analyze the collected data. We have n number of statistical or mathematical techniques. What exact technique we have to apply, and we have to use in the given set of data to collect the important information is very important to know. For example, suppose if we are interested to measure central tendency, then what exact technique or method of central tendency we have to apply, like mean, mode, median. So exactly what mean should be applied, or median, or likewise, or a standard deviation we have to apply, or correlation for establishing the relationship between data, or regression, or n number of methods are there. Even after that, we have to justify, we have to validate the hypothesis. Again, there is the n number of methods like Z test, F test, T test, chi-square test, a number of tests, ANOVA, analysis of variance. A number of tests are there to validate the hypothesis in order to reject or accept. Now, time is over. Here I am concluding. In next class, we will continue it and we see very interesting and important part, that is classification of research design. Thank you very much for today.